When you say success,
Yeah.
how can you be successful if you don't know how to solve problem? That's the thing now.
We are going too deep into some. I just feel like we should take it on the very note on the basis of Nigeria and why it is being called that term. You don't require education to actually get to some places you want to get to. And the examples of people who they look after and they look forward to. These people didn't even go through all this educational system. They didn't go through all of these things and they are doing well.
Welcome back to Mindshift. My name is Oga Peter. On this podcast, we dissect and bring fresh perspectives and angles to burning issues, the biggest social and political trends in Nigeria and even all over the world. So today we have a very interesting conversation. And of course, these are burning questions in the minds of Nigerian youths. Is school scam or are Nigerian youth just lazy? With me today are the usual gang. Fine boy Raj, fine boy Sam.
Wow,
that's the way I can describe it.
Okay, that's how we are starting, Abby.
So let's jump right into it, right?
Yeah.
All of us are graduates. I don't like to assume, but all of us are graduates.
You can assume, please.
Anyway, so there's a funny conversation on social media. I'm sure you would have heard it. School na scam. Do you think school is actually scam, or we are just trying to find a way to excuse laziness of not doing mental work?
Well, if we all agree with me that adulthood na scam, if you agree with that,
but there's a difference between adulthood and
we can now conclude that
school.
maybe school is a scam.
What makes school scam though? Because some people will tell you because there are graduates who don't have jobs. So what's the point of going to school when after school you don't have employment?
I feel in this part of this world, this part of this region, Nigeria, to be more emphatical about, I just feel like it is scam here. Like compared to other countries where they do better. Not where in school right now. And my teacher is telling me that don't worry, you don't need to know this. When you get to secondary school, they will teach you. I get to secondary school. My teacher expects that I know that. He said, I thought they taught you
in secondary school.
Exactly. He said, don't worry, when you get to so it's like so most of those things, nothing is changing. It feels like we're just going round and round the circle in our educational system here in Nigeria. So I feel like that's why I call it scam, not because education is not good as a whole.
So your problem is the school system or education?
The system itself here makes me call it a scam.
But if you call it a scam, that's a problem now. Like you're just branding the entire idea of schooling.
I think from my own perspective, my own personal experience, so I like to use this example of university. So when I was in university, I don't know if every university offers this, but I believe we do philosophy
and logic
101.
Yeah, I did that.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So in philosophy, what's the point of philosophy? Philosophy is supposed to train you on how to think. In fact, one of the principles that makes philosophy so interesting is that, and I'm going to quote someone here, it says, part of how we view a problem, part of what a problem is how we view the problem. So it's a mind thing, and it's teaching people how to go about understanding things. It's a process, it's a thought, it's free thinking. Now, when you have an institution, right, and you go into class, your philosophy teacher pulls out a textbook and says, and recounts all the past thoughts and thinkings and sayings of philosophers that have nothing to do with Nigeria. Aristotle, Plato, whatever and whatever have you, right? Yeah. It is good to be able to take learnings from the past.
Yeah.
But then there is an overemphasis on memorizing historical artifacts as opposed to training people how to think.
Yeah, but wait.
So hold on.
Yeah.
In that sense now, right? What is philosophy? So when you say something like school is a scam, right? I came here, the value proposition of that particular exercise is that you come here and we teach you how to think, how to be a problem solver. You cannot be a problem solver if you are memorizing text.
Well, that's not possible.
That's true. You understand? So when you come there, you are expecting that experience, but that's not what you get.
But there's a certain exposure that school system brings to you. Now, we're shifting the responsibility to the system or the government. Of course, the government is responsible for setting up the system.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. So, but I'm talking about the responsibility of the person who is seeking knowledge,
individual.
right? Because you find out that the reason why young people say that school is a scam is not even majorly what you're talking about. It's mostly the fact that they finish school and they can't get a job, but they know people who didn't go to school who are making it big. So it is the idea of success, of what school is supposed to be for them, not the knowledge they are supposed to acquire from school.
No, hold on. Remember I said I use philosophy as a case study.
Yeah.
The reason why I use philosophy because it is a very poignant example of how we operate in society. If you look at our government, if you look at our engineering or any field of industry, what we have is we are taking practices and theories and concepts from foreigners, right? And we are applying them. But we have not mastered, we are not producing, we are not solving problems ourselves. We have intellectuals that know a lot of books, they've memorized a lot of books, but they can't solve a problem.
Yeah, so but the people who are complaining,
of that textbook,
yeah,
they can't solve it.
that's what I'm saying.
hold on. So
If
when
you're
you say
more, if you're
success,
interested, if you're interested in solving problems,
Yeah, but hold on. When you say success,
Yeah.
how can you be successful if you don't know how to solve problem? That's the thing
so
now.
some of those things that people complain about in school. Now, I'm not holding brief for the educational
Yeah,
system in
yeah.
Nigeria. It's messed up. I mean, we all pass through it, where the lecturers regurgitate information, and then, of course, there's this theory that people come out of Nigerian schools and they are unemployable. You know, that is true because it happens.
You know why they are unemployable?
A mechanical engineer graduate cannot even show you what
He
a
can't apply
crankshaft
what
is.
he has learned.
Applying it is even a big deal. He can't even identify a
I think
crankshaft.
we are going too deep into some. I just feel like we should take it on the very note on the basis of Nigeria and why it is being called that term.
Yeah, so I'm
Just
looking
like
at the surface.
The surface.
Why
we call
is school
it?
a scam
Why
to the
people say
average
it's,
Nigerian
yeah, why is
youth?
it a scam? Because people just feel like more way, more way.
Uh-huh.
They will say that way. So
Do you
you
get
have
like-
to know the way.
You-
You have to know your way around.
I mean,
and
think about it.
You
There are
don't require
people-
education to actually get to some places you want to get to. And the
Exactly.
examples of people who they look after and they look forward to. These people didn't even go through all this educational system. They didn't go through all of these things, and they are doing well. And these are people we are looking
Because
up to.
think about it,
They are
it feels
successful.
like these people are making money. They didn't go to school. And then I know one Egbon in my neighborhood that had first class, but he's still flying Okada or is still entering Marwa.
I get it when I did talk.
Do you understand?
I get what you're saying, but you have to understand that the way I would approach it, because this is my perspective, the way I would approach it, it cannot be a simple answer. Because the truth is this, right? The people that you're pointing to that are successful, now for those of you that say school is a scam and you're watching this or you're listening, when you look at them, what is the one most salient attribute that they have? They are problem solvers. You get it? So when you're in school, right, you are given a curriculum of activities, right? You're supposed to learn A, B, C, D. But the practicals, no D. You understand? The ability to think for yourself, no D. And by the time you spend that 4 years in school, guess what? The global economy has moved past the knowledge that you are consuming. I'll give you another example. When I was in secondary school, I finished from an Ajebo school in Lagos. The name of the school is Lara Day. I love that school because it's a very stacked comparison to schooling in Lagos and then going like in the school system. In that particular school, we had a lot of foreign books and teachers. Our curriculum was kind of mixed. So leaving that and going to a secondary school in Kaduna, a boarding school, and just experiencing that typical Nigerian curriculum. I'll give you an example. I one day, right, I went around classes and I put up a challenge. I wrote on the board, I said, if anyone can tell me how many planets we have, I'll give them a certain amount of money. The second question was, what is the hottest planet? If you're watching right now, most of us don't know how many planets we have. Most of us don't know what the hottest planet is. And people still think it's Mercury till today. Ancient knowledge.
So there's a new hottest planet.
Not new, it's now old. I'm talking about when I was in JSS.
Yeah,
People is going to be a new information.
That is what I'm saying. That hunger to seek knowledge, that hunger to think, to solve problems, is what people we're supposed to be cultivating.
Exactly.
That's why people feel
That's
it.
where I'm coming from.
So we're saying something
Are
similar.
young people just lazy to seek knowledge, or they are just
Or they're just
pushing the
pushing
blame
it
to the
on-
school system?
That's what we're
Because I mean, we went to secondary school years ago, about 2 decades ago, right? Now, the information we consumed while we were in secondary school, you can't expect that they're exactly the same today, right? There are people in secondary school now who know more than what you knew when you were in secondary school, or should know, because there are new information now, right? Now, it's up to you to seek out those information that are relevant to your current reality, isn't it? Because you're not in a formal school setting, as it were, right now. How many young Nigerians even read anymore? Do you get? Because there's so much emphasis on money. Anything that brings me money is more important. But the truth is, you have more chances of succeeding at anything if you're educated than if you're not.
Yeah.
Because what are the statistics? They tell you that so person dropped out of school, now he's a billionaire. But they don't tell you which school did he drop out from. They don't tell you, like you said, he had something that he could offer society that he's being rewarded for.
Yeah.
So dropping out of school will not automatically make you a success. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Like tying it together to say there's something, a responsibility that you need to take as a young person. The school system is terrible, right? We can make a case for how the government can reform and fix the school system, but you're responsible for what you don't know when you're already out of the school system.
Okay.
Do you get? Because there are core members, people who are serving corpers. You ask them simple questions that a secondary school graduate should know, and they don't
But
know.
here's my question, guys. Here's my question. If you pay money to go to school
Yeah.
and you want your child to learn something, right? You want them, when they finish the proposition. Remember, when you enter and when you pay for something, there's a value proposition
Yeah,
there.
true.
I'm paying for you to learn philosophy 101, further math, whatever, engineering, whatever is the course that you're learning.
Yeah.
I'm paying for you to do that, right? At the end of that curriculum, I expect that you should have the fundamental understanding
Yes.
to be able to at least make inquiry. So the question is, so when you think about that from that perspective, right? Wouldn't you still say you have not gotten value for your money?
You as the parent, or
Or
you
the-
as the
Whoever
student.
is paying it, whoever.
Yeah, so you're making it about the person who is
Yeah.
paying. Have you not seen?
No,
have you not
no,
seen
but-
students who don't attend classes?
Yeah.
No, so now what we are talking about is like two angles. There's the individual aspect,
Yes,
individual
and there's a
responsibility,
systemic
and I think
angle.
we agree on that.
Yeah.
We should actually take personal responsibility for our education. That's good. However, you've paid for something,
Yeah.
and now what's based on the subject, we are looking at it beyond personal. We're looking at the school system.
Uh-huh.
Was the question you asked? We're looking at the school system. Is it giving you the value? So the question is, when you pay, is it giving you the value? You understand that you paid for? I don't think it is.
I don't even think people think of this part when it comes to
Exactly.
education.
They're not thinking
Nobody's
about
thinking of
the
all of this value. People are just feeling like, I go to sleep, I need to wake up following day. It's a normal thing. Let me just go to school
I
because it's
finish
a
school,
when I finish school, I should have something in this
waiting for me.
thing. So it's just like a thing of, okay, just like life too. You crawl, you start walking, you grow up as a child, or you this thing, you settle down, you get married. What they expect is children, all of those things. So it feels like that when it comes to education.
So here are the two clear angles. Yeah, there's a systemic aspect.
Thank
that
you.
the school system, the educational system in Nigeria, is not giving what it should give.
Yeah.
In today's balance, right?
Why is my you want to use the right word?
No, I have to use the Gen Z word. It's not giving what it should give. So there is that. And that is where you're talking about if you pay, you should get value. I think that it's the older people, the parents, who are more concerned about the school system not giving what it should give.
Yeah.
Then there's the other angle of the student, the person who is supposed to be learning. The little that the school system is even giving, what are you doing with it, or what did you do with it? We know students who would miss classes. We know students who would, like the ones we call legends, who will put their notebook in their back pockets. They just stroll into lecture halls and say, Alpha,
And they always sit at
waiting
the
they
back.
teach. Those ones who are the back people
benchers.
in Igbo language, Azu local government, people who are at the back, they don't care about
They
what's
don't-
going
they
on.
don't-
They
Okay.
collect notes and copy. These same people would bribe lecturers, and then when they come out with whatever they come out with, they are the same people that will tell you that school is a scam.
Okay,
So what did they do with the little that the school was offering them?
well, I guess in that, from that perspective, there's really not much argument there. You should take personal responsibility, yeah. But let me paint this scenario. Let's assume now that John is the perfect student. John paid however many thousands to go to school. He's sitting front row. He has his assignments. He does his assignments. He has good relationship with his teacher and his colleagues. He goes through the entire school curriculum.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that person comes out on the other end? He gets his master's. He gets his professorate degree.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Are you telling me that person is competent enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with other intellectuals outside of Nigeria, his peers?
Yeah, so if we're making comparisons, of course, no.
Okay.
Because Nigeria, I don't think there are many things in Nigeria that you can compare to other global standards. I don't think there are a lot of things. So on that level, it makes a lot of sense. But then, how can you compete with your peers in the same Nigeria that went through the same system? Because education is supposed to open your mind
But
to
here's-
what can be,
But here's the thing, right?
even if it doesn't give you job directly.
But here's the thing. Another thing that I personally don't think we should extract. We should make a delineation. So there's education and there's school,
Yeah,
right? Education extends outside of what you learned at
that's
school.
true. That's true.
So when you say someone is successful, there is no successful uneducated person. It's not possible.
No,
So
I
you
don't
have to be
think so.
educated in the line
Wait, you have to be educated to be successful.
of success.
No,
Yeah,
I said
No,
you,
you're
you
saying-
have to be educated to be
To be
successful.
successful, but
But
successful
you-
is subjective.
But wait, hold on.
individual.
But you don't have to go
Well,
to
there's that.
school
to be educated.
to be educated.
Yeah.
No, yes, I agree with that. Yes,
You get
have
me?
to go to school.
Because it's now for those. Let me share this little bit of knowledge for those listening. Do you know that they have special? I'll give you the school system now, the school landscape. We have university, we have polytechnic, we have college of education.
Yeah.
If I were to ask people now, like, let me get your opinions. Like, what do you think these? Why do we have these three institutions? Do you have any clue, any guess?
Yeah, so
Why are they
the
different? What is their
polytechnics,
use?
from my understanding, polytechnics are supposed to give you more technical knowledge, practical knowledge, right? Because it's usually architecture and all those
All of those,
practical.
We have
practical
engineering and
courses.
politics.
Yeah, yeah, we have engineering too.
Okay.
Then the college of education is
Yeah.
supposed to like teach you or groom you around the principles and theories of education in different aspects of our. That's my understanding
You
of
said
how
it.
those
You
things
said
work.
it beautifully. And
Our
you're correct.
university.
Yeah, university is like a
merges
combination of
Lapo-Labo.
everything.
Now let me ground it properly, right? In society building, right? You need different chasms of intellectuals. You need the university guy. I'll give you an example. You have a car,
Yeah.
right? You want to take your car to the shop. You cannot expect a engineering graduate to go and sit down and be fixing your car. Nah, little problems, carburetor, all those things. No. So because of that,
But what should
We
an engineering graduate be doing? around
that's
the
what I'm
car?
getting. I'm
Okay.
trying to break it down.
Yeah.
So the polytechnic guy is the guy that should have the auto repair shop.
That's a shade though. For poly people.
No.
I mean,
That's-
HND and
no,
BSc
no,
has now
that's
been
what-
harmonized. That's the shade.
No, here's the problem, We have lost the understanding of why these things were there. We are
Because the
simply
poly
just
guy
used.
can know better than the university
No,
guy.
you don't-
It's
you
just-
don't-
No,
Yes.
maybe he's saying
Wait, hold
he
on.
should have the shop where they fix it because he
There
has
is-
learned more of the practical, right?
It's not just that. That is what that polytechnic is meant for. In the Europe, that's what those things are made for.
in
You are
Nigeria,
not supposed
what
to
is
be
it meant for?
No, that's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
we it goes to the system. I'm going into how some of the malfeasance that is endemic to our system.
Yeah.
So what I'm telling you now is this is just a typical example.
Yeah.
In somewhere like other countries, right? Although that's not what it has become to be, but the original idea when you're building a society is, like I said, is tiered. You need someone. You shouldn't just take your car to anybody to fix. You understand? Nobody's vouching for this guy's expertise. Look at the hell we go through just fixing your car.
Yeah.
There's usually a system, right, to have the person that's fixing your car accountable.
Yeah.
So that person that goes to polytechnic, right? He understands the nitty-gritties of fixing a car manually, right? He has an auto repair shop. He has people he's employing.
Yeah.
This person has a degree that says, I am licensed to fix your car at this level. Now, there are certain issues that have to do with fundamental understanding of engineering. Maybe it has to do with the circulatory system of the car, the combustion ratio of the car. You understand? Those kind of
minute details.
Then you need to contact a university.
Are you not painting an ideal situation?
That's what I'm saying.
Because you need to there's a locality around
exactly.
in our system.
Hold on.
Even a university graduate cannot locate a crankshaft. They can't even tell you what
my
brothers,
is about. We have to know what should in order to know how far we are away from what the norm.
I don't
right?
think that our problem is knowing what should.
I'm painting a picture, right? So let me just frustrate. So basically, the university person has a certain degree, the polytechnic has a certain degree, and then the teachers, right? They go to college of education. It's not that one is higher or lower than the other. The way we look at it here, it's different specializations for different interests.
But that's not how it plays out.
And it doesn't play. It's different here.
That is now what the problem is.
That's not how it plays out.
Is that systemically, right? We have not investigated and aligned all the things we need to do in order to culture the right intellectuals.
I think we should leave the system in one side. Now, not because it's perfect. The system truly requires a lot of work. But I think that we should take more account, right? Our personal accountability should come to the fore. Do you think Nigerian youth are just lazy when it comes to seeking knowledge? Because the system is bad, we can then use it to excuse everything.
Everything. I don't want it to be that case. I don't want us to use the educational system as an excuse for your personality.
Because people tell you that how can a first class graduate, they are giving a first class graduate 10,000 naira as a reward. Meanwhile, somebody who goes to BB Nigeria is getting 60 million naira as a reward.
You just made my case for me.
The proposition for going into a university is not to get financial reward after school.
Exactly.
Wait,
nobody promised you that.
Wait, but you just made my case for me. You just said a first class graduate. That means this is a person that did everything he should have done. He came out first class, and he still does not have as much value in society as he should.
Do you think it's a systemic issue or is the person's problem?
Hold on. You can't.
If you have a first class, you should have a brain that
is
can
what
create.
I'm telling you. If you rely on the system and the curriculum, and then you do everything you can personally. This is a first class graduate. You cannot blame personal responsibility.
No,
he has done everything he needs to do.
See, you can do copy and paste.
You just be successful because
because you have a first class.
That is why I'm telling you that I want you to point to any look at any country. Point to any first class graduate that you are going to see in that situation.
No, well, I don't know.
The minute you are graduating first class, you are hot cake. It's not even a question.
But in Nigeria, there are first class graduates in Nigeria that can't even do anything.
That is why I'm telling you that it's a systemic problem.
It's not a system problem. It's a system problem that says they should be.
If you teach people.
Anyway, guys, do you think that school is a scam, or do you think that Nigerian youth are just lazy to learn? And by the way, Nigerian youth don't read, right? You can go to school and make first class because you just copied and pasted what the school had given you. You have lecturers who will tell you, repeat what I taught you, and then you pass and come out with first class, and then you can't even do anything or give any value to society. If you're a first class graduate of mechanical engineering, I don't think that you expect somebody to employ you, offer value to. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, the school system is messed up, no doubt about that. We want to get your thoughts in the comment section, right? Do you think school is a scam, or do you think we're just lazy in seeking knowledge? Your final thoughts, Sammy, as we wrap it up.
All right, so I'll pick points from what you said, the system and this thing. An example I'll just give about the system so that he said is more like there's this stereotype. For instance, it was something I wish, or I feel like I'm talking about right now that I have the opportunity in secondary school, the stereotype of science, art and commercial, and the feeling that the science ones are the brilliant ones, then the art ones are the next, then the commercial if you're in that class, you know nada. Or you're the serious person. In fact, if
So
in my school,
it's like
if you are
science, art,
yes,
and
now
the rest.
if you chose
Well, the
science,
science people anyway,
and they
for
feel
the
like
records.
you are not up to the standard, or probably you just feel like no, this one knows a big book. You just see list, just that they push you to commercial or push you to art class.
But do you think that's fair? Do you think that's fair?
It is not.
Because we have different abilities, right? If you don't know math and science, it doesn't mean you're not intelligent.
It doesn't even, but that's why I say that's why I took that cue from what he said about system too. So, and based on also the general stuff too about personality, because I felt like we should have had our opportunity to talk about our personal. What did you learn? We are all graduates. What did you learn from school? Or I'm not saying you should tell everything. For me, I feel like the most better thing for me in school was the relationship I built with people, and that's what is working for me right now. Not necessarily the school, the knowledge, the book, and the education and everything. No, it's the relationship I build with people.
But it's also supposed to be
that's
part
my-
of what
that's
you get
exactly.
from going to
So,
school.
those are the
Yeah.
Okay, so my final thoughts would be, I think I'll just give questions for people who are interacting with our content to think about. So it begs the question, individualism or systemic problems,
Yeah.
which are for platforms like this, like which would you guys think and say, okay, what is more determinant and what is the more salient issue for us to tackle that will give us the best solution going forward? I personally believe that systemic problems are, in fact, that's why they are called systemic problems, because they are more cogent.
They even stifle your own
Exactly.
personal efforts.
And then from the individualistic angle, personal responsibility is always there. You understand? But when you have someone that has a first class degree, in my opinion, you have done everything that you were asked to do.
Yeah.
And if you had done everything I was asked to do, that should
supposed to
be
gain something
enough
from it.
for me to at least earn a living, even without me doing any personal investment and everything. Through your
In most
curriculum.
cases, they go back to the school system
Thank you.
to teach.
So through your curriculum,
'Cause that's
right?
the option that
that's
they
the
have
option they
available.
Thank you.
Become
Through your
lecturers,
curriculum,
so.
you should be able to earn a good living at the very minimum.
Well, good living in Nigeria is a very far cry.
Like this man is talking like no, he's not in Nigeria.
Good living in Nigeria is a very far cry. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'd like to know, of course, two very important key points to take away.
Yeah.
There's a systemic part of it and also the individual aspect of it. I also agree the systemic part bears more weight because it can get stifling. Sometimes you do all you can and lecturers will frustrate you. You do all you can and the school system will frustrate you. In any case, we will do all we can anyway. So let's know what you think about it. Thank you very much for joining us on this session. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Raj.
Yeah.
Let's do this again.
Definitely.
Oga Peter,
Definitely.
out.